and then when their guard is down, you get advantage on wakeboarding right on their faces.
Kind of like an anti-bard.
Right, exactly. That is exactly what it is. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name is Jordan Dahl.
I am Roger Norquist.
And I'm Nick Bolden. I sound like this today, because I'm actually Jordan doing a joke voice.
Damn it, you weren't supposed to tell him that part, Nate. That ruins the whole thing.
Oh, sorry.
Well, the jig is up. Nate's not here. I will occasionally do the joke Nate voice, but not for this part, which is maybe arguably the most important part of our podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by the Monstroco Hair Ray. Are you balding, or simply looking to grow more hair than this meager human form can supply? Just aim this 50 cal ray gun at the area that you would like to become a hairia and let her rip. The Monstroco Hair Ray. Careful. Works on eyes. You gotta be careful not to get it in your eyes, or else you'll just have two ponytails hanging out of your face. Unless that's the look you're going for. But my God, what if you got it caught on something? Imagine the sound.
To be honest, I now want to go into work this Tuesday, which is my Monday, with full ponytail eyeballs.
Ponytail eyeballs.
Will it obstruct my workflow? Like, do I see through the ponytails, or is my vision totally obscured by hair?
Your vision will be obscured by hair, but the thing that you need to keep in mind is that other people will be able to see it. And I presume that you would also have grown a sweet ponytail at the back of your head, and they'll be like, holy shit, he's tri-tailing. And like, you'll be so fucking cool around the office. Nobody will step to your shit, dude. Nobody will step to it whatsoever. They'll be like, we can't stop him. We couldn't stop him if we wanted to. Look at those ponytails. That dude probably wakeboards.
I'm trying to be unstoppable in a wakeboard. It sounds like this item from Monstroco is for me.
Yeah. Careful around the eyes, unless you want to be a being more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
More powerful than God, dude.
More powerful than God, more powerful than the devil. It's the tri-tail.
Oh my. Well, Jordan, can I start this episode of Werewolf Radar by talking about two more alien races?
Dude, honestly, I could keep going on these alien races for some time. You will know when the time is right to not talk about them, but it is not this day, my friend.
I still have so many.
I want to know all of them.
I've been just randomly picking. Thankfully, all of our episodes are saved, so I can go back and make sure I don't copy any.
Remember the Beezonites? Mm-hmm. Just the most lazily named bee people of all time.
And they're not even like bees.
Not really.
Like, they're not giant.
Yeah, they have dog ears.
Uh-huh.
Weird. It's fucking weird
They
out
have
there.
a thin, I'm on the page right now, they have a thin insectoid body, 4 long, slender fingers with 3 joints and a thumb.
And listen, if you're a Beezonite and you're listening to this and I'm cracking wise about your dog ears, I apologize. You can correct me. I will take it as a learning opportunity. And but first you have to reveal yourself. So,
And for those on the YouTube, they are revealing themselves. There it is, a Beezonite.
There it is, with those floppy little puppy dog ears. Boy, ayahuasca. It's not for everybody.
But this time we're not talking about the Beezonites again. We're going to go switch to another alien race. And I chose some ones we've seen in media before.
The ETs, the extraterrestrials. Loves nothing more than dressing up like a doll and hiding amidst your stuffed animals.
And of course, I now can't find them. I think it's...
Well, I'll just talk more about E.T. Remember when he got drunk while Elliot was at school, and because they had a psychic connection, Elliot was also drunk on beer, and that was a movie. That was the plot line.
That's real?
Yeah, buddy.
So I've never seen...
It's fucking wild.
So here's a little bit about me. I've never seen the movie E.T.
Wow.
I have played a lot of the video game from Atari.
Absolute monster. Why did you do that? For
Because
science?
me and Jay had a show called
there it
Roger and
is.
Jay Play Video Games.
Okay.
And that was one of our most watched episodes. Is
I
me
would love to
struggling.
fucking see that. Is it on YouTube?
I'm sure it is. It's
Oh
all
my
under
God.
Jay's control.
I'm watching the shit out of that. That's amazing.
So let's talk about our new star nation, or not new, but the new star nation we are learning about. And that is the Digital Immortals.
Whoa. I saw them open for Aphex Twin, I think.
They did back when they were young.
Yeah.
Universal origin, Digital Immortals originate from the Mira system. I don't know what that is.
I don't think it's for us to know.
No, maybe, probably.
None of this knowledge has been revealed to us officially. Even the Bezonites.
When you Google Mira star system, you do not get stars.
What do you get?
Okay, here you go. So Mira is a binary. You get there's a few companies named Mira systems.
Of course there are.
This binary star system consists of a red giant, Mira, designated Mira A, undergoing mass loss, and a high temperature white dwarf companion, Mira B.
I have a high temperature white dwarf companion in Baldur's Gate.
Ho 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 ho.
You know what I mean?
I do. I'm trying to seduce everyone in my party too.
Everybody wants to fuck in that game. It's every time I go to the camp, everybody's like, "Hey, want to fuck?" And I'm like, "I just want to like fight some spiders with you." And they're like, "Okay, but then like we can fuck." I'm like, "No, please. I just like want to have an adventure." And they're like, "An adventure in my pants?" And you're like, "No."
That game truly is that to where like they made every companion unusually horny, and everything you tell them,
horny.
They're like, "Oh, I can make that into something."
Yeah, and I'm not against it. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, but I mean, come on, let's work for it. I'm like 4 hours into this thing, and I got, my dick is getting tugged 3 ways.
So physical characteristics, a digital immortal is a hairless human form standing uniformly 6 feet tall.
Oh, all right.
No higher, no taller.
Okay, they decided on a height. They were like, that's it. That's the one for us.
That's the one. It works perfect. Even though these are androgynous, sexless beings, some may take on more masculine or feminine qualities.
Sure.
They have uniform faces with slight variations in features, translucent milky white skin, and vivid blue eyes.
Oy.
Belief system is that digital immortals follow the cosmic law of one.
Okay, we've heard about this before.
The Bezonites and the lion felines both follow. It kind of is your 10 commandments thing of space.
They can't get enough.
And they can't get enough of it. They re-entered a physical form to assist the Galactarian alignment in raising younger worlds with their unique and evolved perspective. David Bowie, perhaps?
Yeah, there it is.
He was all like, bang 17-year-olds, and then he apologized.
Yeah.
So they're learning too.
They're learning. It was a different time and a different place. The Mira system.
They are categorized as super beings to process and execute enormous amounts of data.
Okay.
When enlisted, honestly. And the Galactic Alignment, obviously, we kind of glossed over, but is a federation of star nations.
Right.
As your Star Trek would be.
Right. Your trekkers of the stars.
The digital immortals are categorized as super beings able to process and execute enormous amounts of data. Okay. When enlisted to a craft, their hyper-thinking has averted catastrophes, crashes, and sudden cosmic anomalies, saving many lives. 7. They are
the most number of lives I can imagine.
They are dispersed throughout the star nations and are commanders of various classes. Cosmic agenda, their agenda, several evolved souls from the higher dimensions who had light bodies wished to experience a physical form again. They petitioned the Constellation Fathers, which we've never talked about before. This is the first time I've heard about this. Is there a glossary?
Pretty sure I saw them open for Aphex Twin.
What a show that was.
It was a real good show.
I'll go into it in a moment, but they do have a appendix of otherworld terminology. I'm sure that's in. So we got the Constellation Fathers. They were petitioned that they wanted to experience physical form again. After deliberation with angelic councils, it was decided that these souls, numbering 1,000, would be granted their wish.
Wow.
Now we have so the creator gods and goddesses are now responsible for their creation and oversee their development.
Oh. I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Sure, never seen any of them.
There's a guy in that who kind of claims to be a god. And that's what I imagine is out there, is just beings who have come to such a high level of existence that they're like, okay, so this is what it's like to be a god. And it never goes well for them.
Well, that's because they met the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
Like, it was going well up until they met the Guardians of the Galaxy.
You mess with the galaxy, you're going to get guardianed.
I do know that universe in terms of storytelling is related to Howard the Duck, though.
Oh, Howard the Duck is in this one. He's playing poker with I think her name is Cosmo, the psychic dog, the psychic Russian dog in a cosmonaut suit.
Nice. That's who I'm waiting for. Another Howard the Duck movie.
I would love a Howard the Duck movie. Could you imagine? Marvel, what's up? Are you guys afraid? Afraid of it? Is that the problem?
Just reshoot the original one, shot for shot.
Shot for shot remake. Don't use Mr. Rooney because he's a pedophile, as it turns out. Just, who would you recast as the guy who's turning into a monster? Boy, that scared me when I was a kid. I'm going to go with Charlie Day right out of the gate.
Charlie Day would be a good one. Unexpected, too. You'd see him transform and then be all evil. Listen, I'm here for the duck condom. I want to see the human pull out. Anyway, we're talking about Digital Immortals. So these Digital Immortals,
but we're thinking about duck penises,
are responsible for, or the gods and goddesses that created everything are responsible for the Digital Immortals creation and oversee their development.
Well, thanks a lot, gods and goddesses.
These Digital Immortals consciousnesses were transferred into soul vector suits, the physical forms they now inhabit. So I'm wrong.
So that's why they're 6 feet tall as a rule.
Yes, more so because that's the body they were built.
Right. It's like a model of body.
So technology, Digital Immortals are linked to the living library of Akasha and can access information in vast amounts.
That's right. The Akashic Library.
They're referencing the Akashic records, essentially, but a more, I guess, concrete form of it that aliens literally use.
Yeah, they tap into it. They pay a monthly fee to Verizon.
If you remember LexisNexis from back in the day, it works like that.
Yeah.
Unlimited newspaper clippings. They can process equations, distances, interdimensional calculations, and more in record time. They are the brainiacs of the cosmos.
Oh, whoa. Like the character Brainiac, or just like their smarty pantses?
I think they mean smarty pantses and don't even know that Brainiac is a DC character.
How are you going to write a book about alien races and not know that, whatever. It's fine. I won't do it here, but later.
So Digital Immortals more or less are omnipotent.
Okay.
They can transfer space coordinates, future scenario possibilities, and more via telepathy into others' minds, anchor the information, and assist in processing the data. So not only are they omnipotent, but they can give you the ability to understand what they're blasting into their mind. Like, they'll make sure you understand it. They're here to teach.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I know Kung Fu me?
They can definitely I know Kung Fu you.
Nice. That rocks.
Digital immortals are able to access multiple dimensions and recalculate the birth of new dimensions and universes that form.
Dang, dude. Tight.
So, S-class alien right there. They just do what they want. And where was the second one? Here we are. From Battlestar Galactica. We're talking about synthetics.
It's the Cylons.
The Cylons from the new one, more or less, is what I gathered from this one, to where they're very much human-like. So synthetics, their universal origin, are biologically synthetic creatures, AI with an evil twist. If coming into contact with a synthetic, you would sense it is inhuman, but it is unlikely that they rarely mingle with humanity.
Yeah, they got better shit to do.
But we've seen these a lot. Men in Black give off that vibe to where, like, you're human.
Or are
not.
you? Yeah. Nobody wears a suit that well.
No one wears a hat that brimmed.
Look at those shades.
Synthetic.
Look at that sweet tuchus.
Physical characteristics of them are that synthetic creatures are designed to look human or alien.
Oh. Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
I see.
You can look human or human with antennae.
Okay.
You know, alien.
And now we're back in the Baldur's Gate character creator.
So they're grown in artificial embryo sacs and void of a soul.
Same.
Souls are born of the creation, and without building blocks of divine intent, a soul. This just got very Christian.
Yeah, like you have to undergo the crucible of being born.
Yeah, you gotta
survive. Fight your way out of a womb.
That's where the soul comes from. You keep punching until you see the light, and then a soul jumps into your mouth.
That is how it works. It's right here in the book.
The designers of this technology found a way to attach disincarnated dark entities under their control into the spirit matrix.
Oh boy.
Or to have multiple evils hosting them.
Mamma mia, if I may.
From time to time, they are born.
Oh.
Synthetics are bred with the bidding of their programmers. So their programmers go, fuck.
Oh, shit.
And then they do it. And then the programmers go, gestate. And then the little synthetic baby's born, and it is eating all the mama's evil that she's feeding it.
Oh, I'm gestating.
And then they get born, and then their auras are extremely dark. So I don't know what that means. I don't have the ability to see auras, but I've talked to people who can. And I guess this would be like a blackness around you or so, like a weird void of a lack of oral color.
Right. As in A-U-R-A-L.
Yes.
O-R-A-L.
There's a better Oracle. Anyway, your aura's dark. That's how we know you're synthetic. We'll put on the glasses that John Carpenter will give us all.
And the giant peach.
James and the giant peach. That's what that's truly about. Read between the lines.
You get it. You can see it. It's all there.
Belief system. Belief system. They have none. None. They only wish to carry out the orders of their creators.
Oh, wow.
Now let's talk about that. The cosmic agenda of the synthetics are that
it's so funny that they have the cosmic agenda of these synthetics is ruining the universe.
It's one of the reasons I love this book, because it's like the same thing for everyone. So it's very easy to understand and compare things. And then some of it gets insane, as this one did. Yeah. And still is. So the synthetics are an extension. And if you're listening out there and are synthetic, I'm not calling you insane. Yeah. Your understanding of my understanding of how you are created and everything is making my brain go insane.
Makes our brain insane.
Insane in the membrane.
In the membrane. Thank you, Roger. Absolutely.
I'm here for you. The synthetics are an extension of their dark programmers, used to do the programmers' dirty work, including keeping them safe from harm. And we'll go into who the programmers are, but that's for later. We got to learn about the synthetics first.
Oh boy.
They usually are internal psychic war agents sitting in a room and directing dark evil thoughts to a person or group. If directed to an area of land they want to control, the synthetics are aware good people will sense the dark vibes and stay away. Their programmers know the power of prayer, so do the opposite to achieve the opposite result.
Oh.
What do you think the opposite of prayer is?
Just hanging around.
Like what we're doing here?
No, because we're doing a podcast. I think you got to be doing
that's a form
less
of prayer.
than this. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Smoking weed. The dark agents are in like a Coruscant tower.
Chuff faster.
Thinking of taking over Earth, and they're like, wait, the Earthlings have prayer. We must get high.
We must get baked in the way of the ancients.
And then they program a synthetic to put weed in its mouth, and they put other way.
Hang on, I'm gonna write this down.
And then they smoke it, light it up, and smoke it out of the synthetic's mouth. Yeah.
I think I've seen that bong at a local bodega.
I was basing it off of 30 Rock's Dennis.
This one's Rick and Morty.
Their programmers know the power of prayer. They do the opposite. We've decided that smoking weed. Synthetic beings could be anything the diabolical mind can conceive.
Oh.
And that is the more alien. They can just be whatever. These synthetics don't have a uniform body. It can just be anything. They'll program your synthetic genes to be what they need, and then bam, they got a lizard synthetic. They got a bird synthetic, and those are the two things my mind can come up with right now.
You know, the two things that there are.
Lizards and birds.
Yeah, exactly.
Technology, synthetics use biological entity tech with sinister intentions, like we described.
Seen it 1,000 times.
Consciousness ability, synthetics are constituted consciousness units.
Oh.
They have speech, but not telepathy.
Boy, good thing they didn't call them that.
Constituted consciousness unit 1 reporting for duty.
How about just like synthetics? Seems
This shoots that one in the head.
But, yeah.
Synthetic unit 1 reporting for duty, much better. Dimensional capacity, synthetics are third density like us.
Hey, third density beings.
Although their programmers can project them into the dark astral realm or into dream states to promote fear into the programmer's enemies. Okay. So they have the ability to go elsewhere, but like we do as well. It seems like the dark programmers could, or maybe the light programmers, depending on what side you're on, they can put you into various spots as well.
I never travel.
And I'm going to wrap it up, Jordan. That's been my segment for this week. The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, Farmer's Almanac. The Farmer's Almanac of Extraterrestrial Species is what I'm calling my segment.
Farmer Renac.
We got so much more ahead of you. A little bit of a what am I trying to say? A taster.
Ooh.
The iguanoids.
Oh, man. I had an iguanoid when I was a kid.
And let's go see Otherworld. Yeah, let's answer that question. The Constellation Fathers are the creator gods who oversee their constellation, the constellation jurisdiction.
Oh, it's
Orion's got their own father. Leo's got their own father. The Big Dipper's got a father who fights with the Little Dipper father.
Whoa. It's strange that they would kind of set their kingdoms based on constellations we invented on Earth.
I don't think it's weird.
You don't think that's strange that it's all from like a globocentric position?
No, I think that's normal. I think they
We live in Scorpio. All of the stars of Scorpio are ours, even though it only looks like Scorpio from Manhattan.
There are some things though that I think that people prep it with. A lot of aliens in the dialogue, though, they'll be like, "What you call Scorpio?"
They call this.
And also because I think it's interesting, there are the super universe. There's 7 of them, and each one has 7,000 local universes.
Damn.
They have galaxies and blah blah blah. Earth's registry number is 5,342,482,337,666.
I can't even think that high. 666 at the end, huh?
Yeah, I like that number the most.
Wow, that seems, once again, we're back into Christian mythology.
I think it's just there's a 665, 667. It's just a coincidence. It's not that the devil's home is here and I have an alien chart to prove it. All right, that's my segment. I'm giving the skull back to you.
Bring me the skull. I will take the speaking skull and I will hook it up to a series of Bunsen burners and graduated cylinders, and I will heat it until it is glowing, and then I will hunch before it in the darkness and stare into the eyes as we learn more about alchemy.
Yes.
That's right. We're dipping back into dark facts about medieval alchemy because it was a lot of fun. And then I'm going to jump over and talk to you a little bit about the homunculus. You know what a homunculus is?
That one I only know literally through Full Metal Alchemist.
It's kind of similar.
Yeah. Okay, good. Then I'm not far off.
So we're going to talk about betrüger. So the alchemical profession attached to its share of fakes and charlatans. Actually, we already talked about this. Betrüger, which means fraudulent alchemist, is a word in German.
Yeah, it means scam artist in German, right?
Yeah. To the next one, Pope John the 22nd took a special interest in protecting people from sinister, blasphemous alchemists. The Pope issued an edict in 1317 that specifically prohibited false claims of the alchemical ability to change metal into gold. Almost a century after Pope John XXII banned false alchemy, King Henry IV of England took things a step further and in 1403 outlawed the transmutation of metals altogether.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just like basic really metallurgy. Funny. He's all like, no more iron.
It's really funny.
No more tin.
The Pope was like,
or bronze.
The Pope was like, no fake alchemy. And then the king was like, I'll do you one better. No real alchemy. However, he left kind of a crack in the door because you could still practice alchemy if you got a special license. That's right. You had to go down to the AMV or I guess it would be the Department of Motor Alchemists. I don't know, whatever.
Because you can only do alchemy on a carriage.
Right, exactly. And you would have to get a license. And then if you were like, chugging everlasting life potions and becoming a fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, people would be like, hang on. See your license. You would show them what I can only assume is a gigantic golden amulet that has your picture and the expiration date of your license on it. Now we're going to skip to the next segment, which I must say has a picture of an alchemist from Shutterstock who looks frighteningly like myself on a good day. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat and scroll down to number 19, Insults to Injury. And you are going to see a picture that looks startlingly like myself. So I've dropped it in the Zoom chat here. You can check that out. This is what it says under that. In England, if an alchemist was caught practicing without a license, punishments included decking out the offender in tinsel and executing them by hanging them from a gilded scaffold. That's amazing.
That is
like, so you like metal, do you? And
we'll teach you.
They decorate you like a fucking Christmas tree, and they would toss you up on a gilded scaffold. Look at that. That looks like me peeking
That's
out.
not you. Go to the YouTube, everyone. Also, thank you, everyone, for subscribing to the YouTube and watching the videos. Numbers are up.
Numbers are up. Keep them going. Give us your stars.
Give us your stars. Give us your subscribes. Give us your thumbs up. Give us
your soul.
your...
No.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
But the next step will
Soon,
be asking for souls.
When we get you that robe, we'll be asking
I want that
for
robe
souls.
so bad. God. I never knew how bad I wanted that robe.
Well, you know, this year for Werewolf Radar's Christmas present to everyone, magical robes, baby.
Oh my God. Cultist robes. I would backflip. Number 18 is titled Alchemy Schmalchemy, which I enjoy. Medieval literary greats like Dante and Chaucer didn't think much of alchemists, taking pot shots at them in their writer. Chaucer's, quote, Canon's Yeoman's Tale from the Canterbury Tales tells the story of a foolish man who wastes his life on alchemical studies. And Dante's vision of hell includes lying, cheating alchemists, which makes sense because a lot of this later would be proven bullshit. I don't know if you guys know this, but alchemy, quite a lot of snake oil involved.
It's all like the bubbling of this rock I dissolved in water will heal your biles. Yeah. You got a problem with biles? Here, drink this anti-bile I made out of mercury and salad dressing. So, yeah, and not to say that these people didn't believe in it fully. You know, people did dedicate their lives to it, but they were pretty wrong. It was wrong. Their assumptions were wrong.
Yeah, it's hard to turn lead into gold. You can do that if you have like a nuclear reactor and months of scientific work, but like to do it with like a rod and a rabbit heart is going to take even longer.
Yes, and then it kind of took away from, and it was very, very blurry lines back then to where like good doctors who understood herbology and whatnot and alchemy truly were out there going like, no, you mix these herbs together, you have a good antibacterial agent, put that on the wound, it's going to heal faster. But then you would also have a man right behind him going like, he's a liar, use this poop I found.
Or that same guy with the like antibacterial poultice would be like, here, use this, it'll help. And on the weekends, I try to turn lead into gold.
Yes. Isaac Newton was one of them we learned last week.
Yeah, famous alchemist. The sheer number of alchemists running around just after the Middle Ages, most of whom were now seen as phony, led to the introduction of a new definition for the word alchemy. The Oxford English Dictionary gives the year 1547 as the first recorded use of the term to mean glittering dross, superficial trickery, deceptive cleverness. You won't trick me with your alchemy and wordplay, stuff like that, you know?
I do, yes.
Ben Jonson, considered by many to be England's first poet laureate, wrote a play called The Alchemist about a group of swindlers featuring a charlatan alchemist. More than 200 years after Chaucer's satire on alchemists and the Canterbury Tales, they were still the butt of literary jokes. Good one, Ben Jonson. Kick them while they're down.
They're not even up from Chaucer, man.
Alchemy is also still reeling from that Chaucer blow.
I'm trying to remember the Yeoman's Tale.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
I read that book so many times for all my British literature courses. I'm like, oh.
The only thing I remember about Canterbury Tales is the drunken monk whose face was covered in carbuncles.
That's a fun one.
I remember hearing the word carbuncle and being like, well, I got to know what that is.
Mine's The Miller's Tale.
Oh, it's quite saucy.
It's very saucy. There's an affair. There's people farting in each other's faces. There's someone who kisses someone's butthole. It's a very saucy affair.
Damn. It was Chaucer this was the internet of its day. This was the place for pervs.
I used to have a joke that involved Chaucer's unpublished manuscript.
God, how'd that
Two
go?
maidens, one chalice.
Oh, it killed.
It killed. Yeah, it was one of my better jokes, and people were like, "Who the fuck's Chaucer?" We're like, "Yeah, fair."
Okay,
fair.
moving on. Alchemy is also referred to as the noble art because of its goal to change regular metals into noble metals like gold. The Latin phrase magnum opus, which we use today to mean great work or masterpiece, was also sometimes used in alchemy. The magnum opus sometimes referred to the process of creating, you guessed it, the philosopher's stone, which we talked about last time, which is the ultimate goal of alchemy, which is a stone that is all elements, all things. It can make you immortal. It can turn lead into gold. It can turn hats into money. It can turn food into video games. It does anything, basically. Some medieval alchemists connected their work to Christianity. Hey, kids, do you like alchemy? You know who was the greatest alchemist?
John the Baptist.
They emphasize the connection between the transformative power of alchemy, transmuting base metals into valuable metals, and the transformative power of Christ, transmuting sinners into the saved.
Understand. Okay.
Or, dead people into alive people, or water into wine, and then into Capri Sun. And everybody surfed on it, and it was rad.
Mm-hmm. Fuck you, Sunny D. We're Capri Sun kids.
And it was rad. Number 12, The Alchemist Will See You Now. I'm kind of skipping over the titles of some of them and just saying the ones that make me laugh.
Yeah, no, as we should. We're an entertaining comedy paranormal podcast. You're learning, you're laughing.
Allegedly.
Go to the article if you want to read all of it.
Yeah, modern medicine would look very different without Paracelsus, a 16th century alchemist and physician. So this is one of those guys who is like, I'll set your broken bone. And at the same time, you should eat this lemon dipped in coal to make you immortal. How about that?
To be fair, that is what I eat, and I do seem to be immortal. It seems that I cannot die through mortal means or weapons right now.
I've seen it happen. One time I saw Roger get hit with a cannonball, and he just caught it. It was crazy. He dunked it. He caught it. He dribbled it. He dunked it. It was wild. Paracelsus, a 16th century alchemist and physician whose belief in the importance of balancing elements led him to discoveries about the prevention of infection. It was common practice to apply poultices of animal feces to the open wounds. Here we go, just like Roger said. And Paracelsus was the first one to suggest, hey, no. Wait a minute. Maybe let's skip the cow dung part of the treatment. What a fucking plan.
Which is so weird because, as I'm sure you know, like with things of the inside, it was commonly looked at as like the devil's inside of you.
Yeah.
And when you were flatulent, it was your body expelling the devil.
Get out of there.
Pooping was very much looked as a negative thing you try to hide. In
Cripes
fact,
be gone.
In some medieval homes and castles, there would be a devil sign, if I am to remember. And goddamn it, Jason, you're in Estonia right now. Please tell me if I'm wrong in any way. But from what I've been reading, some places had like a devil in places, and if the wings were open, you were like far away from the toilet, and if it was closed, you were near the toilet, and like its beard would point you in the direction of a toilet.
Whoa, crazy. Go do your devil business.
Do your devil business in there. Right. Yes.
Wow. Wild.
So anyway, it's weird to think that the poo is healing.
Especially in a time where people were so scared of the devil to be like, oh boy, I got to shit, but I know when I go in there, I'm going to be wrestling the devil. I don't want that. It'd be a terrifying affair. I don't know what's happening down there. I'm afraid to look.
And I think too that fear comes from their diets were sometimes so poor, like what miners, like you would die pooping yourself.
Yeah.
So anyway, pooping was bad back in the day. It was dangerous.
Yeah. These days, it's just some time to catch up on the internet, But think about that. You think about that the next time you're in there crapping. Anyway, it is such a weird instinct to be like, oh boy, that looks bad. Slap some shit on it.
Slap some poo on it.
Discoveries in alchemy contributed more to more than just the sciences. Alchemists experimented with the creation of modification of pigments, dyes, perfumes that were important to fashion, cosmetics, decor, and art.
Okay, nice. So like all the fancier things.
Yeah, they were responsible
for
some cosmetics and such.
I can see perfume making as I think you said very much closely related to alchemy because of how perfumes are made with natural oils and boiling down the flesh, if you will, of a whale's fat to make a binding agent.
Oh, that was an alchemist. I got this whale bile. Let's see. Is it gold yet? No, but it is enchanting.
Give it a whiff. And then they just make love for 6 hours.
Yeah. In some later permutations of alchemy, certain alchemists had strong ties to the mystic, the spiritual, and even the occult. Some acolytes, some alcoholics, some acolytes believed that the Philosopher's Stone could act as a hotline to heaven and be used to talk to and even summon angels. So not only is the alchemist, the Philosopher's Stone, like a cure-all and make you live forever and all of that shit, you can come in, God, Paracelsus to God, Paracelsus to God. Take this lead and make it gold. And then maybe that's how it works.
I don't understand what you would ask God. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, probably just that kind of stuff. How's it going? Hey, God, what's the deal with avocados?
Yeah, like just
why's that pit so big?
Just wondering, it's kind of weird.
Weirdly, that is a joke from the movie Oh God, in which George Burns plays God visiting who of all people? John Denver.
Oh.
And when John Denver is trying to convince somebody that he met God, he's like, I met God. What did you talk about? He said he's disappointed with the avocado. Thinks he made the pit too big. Pretty funny.
All right. Sounds like a great movie, actually.
Yeah, right? They are pretty good. There's a second one called Oh God, You Devil, in which the devil is also played by George Burns. Check him out. Highly successful alchemists, particularly just after the Middle Ages, often served as consultants to royalty. It became fashionable in court circles to secure the services of a private alchemist. Well, I don't know why I said that so erotically. A private alchemist. Turn my dick into gold. Much like celebrities today might keep a personal, medical, or legal team on retainer, except, a wizard. King James IV of Scotland employed alchemist John Damien and built a workshop in his castle where Damien could conduct his experiments. Some of these involved aviation and aerodynamics, allegedly culminating in Damien's attempt to fly from the castle ramparts.
Nice.
The fact that he only broke his thigh as opposed to his neck, I think, justifies King James's faith in Damien's abilities. So he didn't die, which is something.
And obviously it was the alchemist.
The alchemy. Although he was an accomplished mathematician and cryptographer, John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, we know John Dee, was renowned for his alchemical and occult pursuits. Dee specialized in divination and astrology and spent the last third of his life attempting to communicate with angels so he could learn the universal language of creation. He also famously had an apprentice who could speak to angels and was like, the angels are saying, I should be allowed to bang your wife? And John Dee was like, okay, if the angels said so.
Enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Next up.
There's an easier way to do that as well. learn the language of creation. You got to lock up a child for the first 9 years of their life. Don't let them see any light. Don't talk
and then
to
they develop
them.
their own language.
And that's the language of creation.
God.
Yes.
Scary.
You're familiar with the forbidden experiment.
16th century Danish noble Tycho Brahe. You know about Tycho Brahe?
I don't.
Is best known for his major contributions to astronomy, but he was also an enthusiastic alchemist. Scientists have theorized this explains why, when Brahe died, his hair, beard, and eyebrows contained traces of gold.
Gold in that beard.
Something like 20 to 100 times the amount found in a normal human body.
Wait, how many is in the human body? How much gold is in us, Jordan?
Well, you're supposed to eat a certain amount of gold every day. I hope you're getting enough.
Yeah, because I live in my castle.
With my many leprechauns.
Well, how much gold does the body need?
Another interesting fact about Tycho Brahe, it's not on here, but he lost his nose at some point, potentially due to an alchemy experiment gone wrong, blew that shit off trying to make something. And he had a gold nose fitted that he would wear around. This motherfucker had a fucking gilded nose, which is the coolest way to do that.
Yeah, it is for damn sure. If you're gonna look a certain way after an explosion, do it that way, man.
Dude, will you share screen again and go down to number 5 and show us the picture of who I can only assume is Nicholas Flamel?
I have a small picture. Is it small for you?
No, it's quite large.
Oh yeah, mine's just the eyes.
Oh, bummer.
Here, I'll try and find it.
A wealthy French bookseller who lived from around the 1330s to the 1410s is known as one of the most famous alchemists in history, but there is no evidence that he actually had anything to do with alchemy. Despite the facts, Flamel's reputation as a master alchemist is perpetuated today by popular works like Harry Potter and The Philosopher's Stone, where he features as Dumbledore's collaborator in researching immortality.
Okay.
This one is called Bernard, the Teenage Alchemist.
Here we go. I found him. Real quick, before we go on, look at this site.
Look at this sly little tyke. I've got all the secrets. Oh, follow me to the end of the rainbow. Anyway, I just wanted you to see that. He looks cheeky. Bernard Trevisan, a 15th century Italian aristocrat, received his family's blessing to pursue alchemy when he was just 14 years old.
Or fighting the war.
Yeah, he spent decades and his entire family fortune trying to create the Philosopher's Stone. And he was still trying when he died in deteriorated health, probably as a result of his alchemical experiments.
Oh, yeah, you know? Because alchemy is a dangerous thing, and now we understand how the body works. But straight up, this picture right here is how you did alchemy. You just had a face full of fumes in you every day.
Yeah, you can only drink so much lead, you know?
You can only inhale so much mercury.
Right. Trevisan's alchemical attempts in the mid-1400s led him to pursue a variety of strange recipes. He and a colleague spent 8 years using the shells and yolk of chicken eggs, quote, purified in horse manure to try to create the Philosopher's Stone. Well, you boil it up and you purify that shit.
Your house has to reek.
When that didn't work, he started using, you guessed it, human blood and urine for his experiments.
Of course, because when the first thing fails, human blood and urine's the plan B.
Quite often, I find. The mid-18th century was the beginning of the end for alchemy. By 1818, and the publication of Frankenstein, which portrays the mad scientist as basing his monster projects on the works of famous alchemists, the discipline was considered to be solely the domain of crackpots, quacks, and con artists. And the number one dark fact about medieval alchemy...
Sorry, I choked. I was very shocked.
In his quest for the Philosopher's Stone, 17th century German alchemist experimented with distilling and processing urine. While this didn't lead to immortality and wealth, it did help him discover phosphorus.
Shut up.
Left over as a powdered residue from the distillation experiments. It may not be the Philosopher's Stone, but campers everywhere are grateful for a discovery that led to the invention of matches.
Nice.
How do you like that? Matches is piss, everybody. Matches is piss. And later, meth. I'm sure meth heads like that.
Think about it.
For those of you who didn't know, that you can use matches to make meth. Here's how you do it. Just kidding. I know that took a long time, but as promised, we got to talk about the homunculus a little bit, because the homunculus is one of my favorite aspects of alchemy. This is from ancientorigins.net. They do good stuff. I believe they have a cult, kind of a celestial seasoning situation. But they also write articles and blog posts, the homunculus, the alchemical creation of little people with great powers.
Now, Jordan, I've seen a lot of Russian YouTube.
Okay.
These little things are awful, right? Like frightening little things.
Yeah.
If you're not sure what I'm talking about, there's a number of Russian people who are creating homunculus. I'm going to skip over how they're doing it, but it's something to check out.
Yeah.
I forgot about that till just now, because there's one of them called Homunculus Little Person I created.
In the field of alchemy, medieval scientists sometimes sought to actually create artificial life, not a robot like you might think, but literally like mixing together shit in a beaker. And guess what? Ta-da! A homunculus. There, a lot of the pictures and engravings of homunculus stuff is like a little man in a bottle quite often, or like a man, like a fetus growing out of a liquid kind of thing. It's all very strange. The homunculus is first referred to in alchemical writings of the 16th century. It is likely, however, that this concept is older than these writings. The idea that a miniature, fully formed person can be created has been traced to the early Middle Ages, about 400 to 1000 AD. So that's 600 years, but hey, who's counting? It's partly based on the Aristotelian belief that the sperm is greater than the ovum in its contribution to the production of offspring. Hey,
sperm boys.
Aristotle famously believed that inside of a sperm was a tiny man yearning to be free.
Yeah, and he punched through the ova, and then he set up a shop there, and then the shop got too big, and that's the baby.
The first known account of the production of the homunculus is said to be found in an undated Arabic work called the Book of the Cow. Purportedly written by the Greek philosopher Plato himself, the materials, get a pen, required for the creation of the homunculus are as follows.
Yes.
A cow or ewe, and like a female sheep,
or ewe,
animal blood, and jizz.
Blood.
Human semen, as you might expect.
Okay, so I have one of those things.
Okay. The cow?
Yeah.
The process includes the artificial insemination of the cow, smearing the inseminated animal's genitals with the blood of another animal, and feeding it exclusively on the blood of another animal.
That's easy.
The fuck?
That's just what animals do. Chupacabra's doing that.
Absolutely is not.
Then I might have misheard.
Plato. What are you doing, Plato? I have a lot of free time.
I've come up with a way to create something.
He sounds like Dracula when I imagine it. The pregnant animal would eventually give birth to an unformed substance, which would then be placed in a powder made of, you got your pen still?
Yep.
Ground sunstone, a mystical phosphorescent elixir, sulfur, magnet, green tutia, which is a sulfate of iron, and the sap of a white willow.
I don't have any of these.
Sunstone, sulfur, magnet, green tutia, and the sap of a white willow. You roll this blob around in it. When the blob starts growing human skin, it would be required to be placed in a large glass or lead container for 3 days. After that, it has to be fed with the blood of its decapitated mother for 7 days before becoming a fully formed homunculus.
So all I have is the cow.
Okay, well, it's a start,
Yeah.
In the Book of the Cow, there are 2 similar procedures for producing the homunculus. Instead of a cow/ewe, a female monkey is used in one, and an unidentified female animal in another. They only knew a few animals back then. Additionally, different ingredients are used for the powder, and the incubation period of the blob in the vessel is extended to 40 days. All 3 types of homunculus have their own specific functions. The first type of homunculus may be used to make the full moon appear on the last day of the month.
Okay.
Allow a person to take the form of a cow, a sheep, or even an ape. Allow one to walk on water, shout out JC, and to know things that are happening far away, kind of an omnipotence situation. So they're once again trying to copy the powers of Jesus, who was the first sort of Marvel superhero.
As someone who doesn't know too much about what happened in the Bible, I get a lot of things wrong. It's not something that I'm aware of, truly, it turns out. But I do know for sure that my favorite miracle is when Jesus made that dude into an ape.
Yeah, that was a good one. What a wild episode.
That was during the party when he made all the wine and fish appear. He's all like, and then Joe was an ape.
Everybody got fucked up and he was like, Joe, you're an ape. Do an ape dance. Dun, 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 dun. I turned him back. Yeah, but his brain was never the same. The second type of homunculus can be used to enable a person to see demons and spirits, as well as converse with them, while the last type of homunculus can be used to summon rain at unseasonable times and produce extremely poisonous snakes.
I like that.
Homunculus, snake ray.
I like rain during unseasonable times.
Yeah. That one could actually be useful. I'll bring the rains to bring the crops, but you're going to get some snakes.
Yeah, it's the same gun. It just does 2 things.
Some of those vegetables will be extremely poisonous snakes. The 16th century alchemist Philip von Hohenheim, also known as Paracelsus, everybody drink, provides a different recipe for creating the homunculus in his work. De Natura Rerum was the name of his book. This recipe uses a horse. God, here we go. A horse is the surrogate mother of the homunculus, and the semen of a man is left inside the animal's womb. Go ahead and put a mature rating on this one, Raj.
Mature rating?
Left inside the animal's womb to putrefy for 40 days, good Lord, before a little man is born. Rather than using the homunculus to perform magical feats, Paracelsus instructs that the homunculus ought to be educated with the greatest care and zeal until it grows up and begins to display intelligence. Intelligence like fucking a horse? Fucking Einstein over here. So yeah, you gotta take this thing and start throwing math at it in the first soft days of its life until it's finally like A squared over B squared equals homunculus. Paracelsus also claims that the procedure for making the homunculus is one of the greatest secrets revealed by God to mortals. Sounds like a prank. It sounds like God was like, "Oh yeah, you gotta fuck a horse." Shut up.
Be quiet.
Oh my God, he's doing it. Perhaps suggesting that the creation of artificial life is divine wisdom that may be used by human beings. Scientists today dismiss the work prescribed by the Book of the Cow.
You're stupid. The Book of the Cow is my religion. It is my way of life.
And De Natura Rerum as mere fantasy. The hell you say? Well,
have you done this? Show me your paperwork. Show me your work on what the human jizz will do.
I do not want to see the work. While others suggest that the writing was intended to be taken symbolically rather than literally and contains hidden messages regarding the process of spiritual ascension. Nevertheless, the goal of producing a homunculus, i.e., the creation of artificial life, is a quest that some are still pursuing to this day. And I got to say, from Werewolf Radar to you, if you're out there pursuing this brave endeavor, please stop.
Please stop.
Let that horse go.
And I'm trying to think about the metaphor of spirituality in terms of ascension.
Yeah.
What level of ascension is sticking the jizz in the horse womb?
Okay, that's level 1.
Okay, and then it putrefies, which I guess, if we're talking in a biblical sense, is when Jesus
brutal
lets his semen out.
I'm going to go take a shower for many hours, and we're never going to touch this corner of paranormal knowledge again. We've learned about alchemy. A lot of jizz involved, a lot of lead poisoning.
A lot more than I thought.
Very little to show for it at the end of the day. But they did get some shit done. Matches? Huh?
Matches? Huh?
Matches, anyone? Absolutely. That does it for this episode of Werewolf Radar. Nate, we love you wherever you are. We hope you find your way back to the surface. Folks, we love you as well for listening and continuing to support the crazy shit that we do here and the things that I've said to you in the broad light of God's Son while you were presumably at the gym or something. Bless you for listening, for continuing to support the show. You guys are the best. If you really like what we do, please give us 5 stars on the platform. It helps other people find the show. If you really, really like what we do, please go to patreon.com/Werewolf Radar and check out our Patreon offerings. We have an extra episode every week and sometimes other goodies, including fiction and art and stuff like that, smattered throughout like a mixture of cum and blood on an alchemist's workbench.
It had to have stank so bad.
The whole thing stank that one kid to death.
It did.
What else? Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers
Chuck.
for our intro and outro song. Shout out to you, the listener. Shout out to our Dark Council members. Y'all are the best. Until next time, this has been another episode of Werewolf Radar. On the count of 3, our sign-off line. 1, 2, 3.
Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe.
What was that?
I thought we were in the Grave Nugget. I said, trust the, and then I was like, oh no.
Oh no! Release me!